and Big Mike. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hayes Entertainment.
If anyone knows a good prospect, it's Vancouver's mini Don Cherry.
Let's go crazy.
He only touches greatness.
Big Mike and Hayes Entertainment here. This episode, we got two top NHL prospects for the 2020 draft. One by the name of Jake Neighbours out of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Then we got Ozzy Wiesblatt from the Prince Albert Raiders.
Couple of good Canadian kids. Let's go. Woo!
I got a partner with me here today. I got mini Don Cherry.
Oh, no way. Look at this.
I've been waiting for you guys to get on so I can pop around the corner. How's you guys' day going?
Oh, pretty good. Tiring. Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you guys a bunch of questions. Might as well start off the beginning. Here's, you guys got any nicknames, and why do you guys wear your jersey numbers?
Oz?
My nickname's just Oz, I guess. I guess it's just kind of short for Ozzy. And I wear 19. I didn't really choose it, but it was kind of just given to me. So, I mean, I've kind of just rolled with it, and we won a championship with 19, so I couldn't really change it. So, I mean, I'm not complaining.
Might as well stick with it. There's a lot of good 19s out there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, my nicknames, I got a bunch of them. People call me Nibs, Nabes, Nabesy, Nibsy. I could go on forever. But, you know, there's a pretty wide variety. And similar thing as Oz. I came into Edmonton, and I think 3 numbers to pick from. It was 34, 21, and one other one, I think. And I was 7 for a couple of years of my minor hockey, and then I was 14 for probably 8 to 10 years. And then so I thought, why not just add the multiple of 7 and go up to 21? So kind of every league I bump it up one. So, yeah, I just decided to go with 21.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice. Who are you guys' biggest influences in your career?
Yeah, my biggest influencer, I think I always say my dad and Patrick Seeley is someone I always mention as well. Me and Ozzy train with his son Ronan, and I'm really good friends with him. But you know, Pat's been a coach of mine ever since I was about 6 years old, and has taught me a lot about life and hockey. So, you know, I always include him, and then obviously my dad. You know, every guy can attest to what his dad did for him in his hockey career. You know, for the most part. So, you know, I always have to give those two credit.
Yeah, I think I just I think it's my mom. I think you know, I could go on for hours talking about her and things like that, and what she's done for myself and my siblings and all my friends almost. So I mean, she's a special lady, and kind of talk about her for days. So
Especially with 4 brothers, or 3 brothers and you. I mean, that's a lot of hockey.
yeah, it is. It's a lot, and I imagine being a single, taking care of all of us. Definitely messed up, and definitely got a lot of respect.
Oz, yell at your brothers to get off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Is that what's happening? I don't know what that was. Was it on your end as well?
You might be cutting in. You're cutting in a little bit there, Oz.
Oh, Jesus.
Better now, I think.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Do you have a favorite sports hero? Both of you guys.
Yeah, mine growing up was actually a pretty surreal story because I skate and train with him now. Is Jordan Eberle. He was the reason I wore number 14, and he was drafted to the Oilers, which is my favorite team. And, you know, he scored that unbelievable first career NHL.
Oh, yeah.
From that point on, I think just most of us Edmonton Oiler, you know, young kid fans are pretty in love with Eb. So, you know, he was my idol growing up, and, you know, my young days, who I looked up to. And, you know, now at this point, I look up to Matthew Tkachuk a lot, and I love the way he plays hockey. And it's kind of weird how they're on opposite sides of the Battle of Alberta. But
Oh, yeah.
well, I think Ebbs was definitely a guy I looked up to lots, and I've kind of got to know him a little bit now, but which is pretty surreal. And then, you know, I just love the way Tkachuk plays. So,
Ozzy?
Yeah, I think I've always loved Crosby, and probably for my whole life now. Just you know, I kind of see some behind the scenes videos of him, and the way he takes care of himself and all that. And I've heard tremendous stories about him and how good of a person he is and everything. So I think that those little details are really important for hockey players, but for people in general. So I think he's a really good, complete role model.
Jake, describe the feeling of getting drafted 4th overall to the Edmonton Oil Kings, and also Ozzy, explain the feeling of getting drafted 25th overall to the Prince Albert Raiders.
Yeah, obviously, draft day was obviously a pretty big moment for, kids going into their draft year. And, I wasn't too sure where I was going to go in the draft, kind of had a little bit of an idea, but, I hadn't talked to Edmonton at all, and they just kind of selected me. And, obviously it was pretty surreal to go that high in the draft and to such a great organization that was kind of, they'd been through the bottom of their days and they're starting to trend upwards. So I knew I was going to be a part of something, pretty special. And, we've had a pretty good team the last couple seasons now. So, it was obviously a really cool feeling. And I think just so much excitement was built up inside of me. And, the opportunity to get to go play in a place like Rogers Place and be around the Oilers and, guys like Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid every day is obviously really special. So I was just super excited when I found out I was going to get to go to a great place like Edmonton.
Yeah, I think for me it was a little bit of a different road for myself, where I had 2 brothers committed to Division I school, and so I was kind of keeping my options open. So I didn't really know where I was going to end up by. For all I've known, I could have gone in the 1st round, or could have gone in the 6th round or the 7th. So, but going to PA for me has been kind of a surreal and life-changing moment for me, where I've had to mature there and kind of grow up a lot quicker. And I've had tremendous coaches there, and Mark Habscheid, and tremendous teammates there too. So when I saw my name get called to Prince Albert, I was I didn't know a lot about it, but I knew that they had good people and good management group. So it was pretty cool experience going there. So
yeah, you can't really ask for a better coach than Habscheid.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. You guys won the dub last year too.
Yeah, we won last season. So I think that in a way kind of changes your whole perspective on hockey in a way. And I think that I was definitely a player that might have played for stats and self achievements, and I think it definitely changes your view on hockey. And it's definitely shifted my mentality to a winning mentality and things like that. So it's definitely had a really good impact on my career.
Yeah, I definitely was a little bit heartbroken when that overtime winner went in against Vancouver last year.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably one of the scariest moments and one of the coolest moments in my life. So I mean, I'm pretty happy we won. So
yeah.
You guys have been good friends for a long time, from what I understand. And both you guys hit 70 points this year. I mean, that's pretty impressive seasons. What do you guys think the biggest difference was from the year before?
Yeah, I think, for me as a 16-year-old, I kind of ran into a little bit of injury trouble. And, obviously the adjustment from midget to the WHL is obviously an adjustment for every player. And I think, both me and Oz could testify to that in terms of, how difficult it is to make that jump at 16. So, but, I had a good start to the season. Then, I went to U17, came back, bit of a slump, and then I faced some injury issues. And, by the time playoffs rolled around, I think I was back into, the full swing of things. But, it's definitely an adjustment. And then I think in the 17-year-old year, you're so much more comfortable with, your team systems, the league, the travel, all things included. So I think you're just more comfortable and more confident in your abilities. And I think that obviously moving as a 17-year-old, you're going to get more opportunity as well as a player from your coaches and more situations that you need to be relied on. And so I think you just develop and mature a lot more as a player, and it just benefits your game all around.
Yeah, I think that me and Jake have in a way had a similar start to our careers, where we kind of started slow on the 4th line, and we watched guys and saw how they prepared and things like that. And for myself, I mean, I had some awesome 20-year-olds and Noah Gregor, and I had an awesome leadership group with Brendan Prahal and Zach Hayes. So I mean, I was kind of surrounded in a spot where I really had no excuse to not perform at the highest level and things like that. But I think when you have such high talent in a locker room and you create friendships and bonds, I think that it kind of feeds you, and I think that's something that I definitely took away from it, as how hard they work and how they eat and how they treat their body and things like that. And I think that makes a big difference at the end of the day. So.
Jake, I love that fight you have with Sakowicz. You're just tossing rights, connecting. And I love your mentality, man. You're always out there to stick up for somebody or stick up for yourself. I mean, I'm sure you're not the guy that's always going to go out there and drop the gloves, but I mean, you're always willing to go.
Yeah, for sure. I think, that's kind of just the way I've played and the way I was raised. And, it's kind of like Ozzy was touching on there. And, I was very fortunate as well as a 16-year-old to have a very good group of 20s and play alongside some people like Trey Fix-Wolansky, who was my captain. And, you learn a lot of good qualities. And I think the bonds that he was talking about, is something that it translates onto the ice for sure. Like, I'm not just going to, sit there and watch one of my teammates get beat up on. I'm always going to be a guy who's going to jump in there and try and do something about it. So, like you said, though, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm not out there looking for fights necessarily, but, if the opportunity arises and I think it's a good time for it, and, maybe it's not Conrad Mitchell, then, I'm willing to drop my gloves. So, it's definitely something that, I'm open to doing, and, it's fun every once in a while. So.
Hey, Ozzy, you like to drop him too once in a while. That Kaluski fight, do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, I think me and Jake have, in a way, some similar attributes where, we're super skilled guys, but at the same time, when someone might be messing with our teammates and things like that, or things like that, we're definitely not afraid to drop the mitts and stick up for our teammates. And I think that's a really big thing in hockey, where it can create a lot of trust and respect throughout the lineup and things like that. So I think that's a really good thing to have now, every now and then.
We definitely love your style of play, guys.
Yeah.
You guys have both scored some highlight reel goals. Any stick out to you?
I think for me, I had 2 OT winners in the 2019 playoffs, or 2018-2019 playoffs. So for me, those were 2 pretty big goals. One was in PA against Oz, so obviously a little bit of extra stuff on there to kind of rub it in his face. But no, I think I had one game in round 2, game 1 against the Hitmen, and I scored with 11 seconds left to tie the game, and then I scored 2 minutes in overtime to win the game. So that was a pretty big game for me and some pretty big goals. But I think if I were to pick a highlight reel one, it'd be my backhander probably against Red Deer. I've never ever seen myself do that, so it was kind of cool to pull that off, and kind of a Patty Kane type moment. So that was probably one of my favorite goals.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I think for myself, I think it was a 4-on-3 versus Kelowna, and I kind of faked it, and I think I was kind of below the goal line, and the goalie kind of bit on it, and I kind of dragged it back and slid her in. So I mean, it was a pretty nice goal. So I'll take it.
And both you guys have both put on the Maple Leaf and represented Canada, the U17s and the U18s, and you guys got the silver medal. I mean, unfortunate bounce, I guess, in that game. What was it like putting on the uni?
Yeah, obviously. I've been answering first every time.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's always super special when you get to represent your country. I think that it's something that I think I can speak for Jake too. It's something that we've always kind of dreamt of doing. I think that we've grown up watching Sidney Crosby, Jonathan Toews, and I think we've always kind of admired and always wanted to represent Canada. And I think that when you do, I think that you have really high expectations for yourself and your teammates and things like that. So it's truly an honor to represent Canada anytime you do. And at the same time, it teaches you a lot about life and how to carry yourself off the ice and how to be a professional all the time and things like that. So it's definitely taught me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I think, one thing I always describe it is it's just like a different atmosphere from any other hockey you'll ever be a part of. I think, Hockey Canada treats you so well in terms of where you're staying, what you're eating, travel, all this kind of stuff. So, they treat you like you're playing in the NHL, like you're professionals. So it's obviously an honor to go overseas like we did and represent them at the Hlinka there. And, even to go to New Brunswick, never been there before, and to play there is pretty cool. So, even on a friendship standpoint, we've gotten the opportunity to travel across the world together and, play for Team Canada, which is obviously super, super special. So, but it's definitely first class. It's great hockey, great competition, and it's always fun.
And you guys both played in the top prospects game too. I mean, playing with the top prospects around the whole North America, I mean, that's a big honor, guys.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think that a lot of those guys we played with at the under 18s or the under 17s. So it was really nice to see some familiar faces again and things like that and catching up. So and at the same time, it's really cool to see where you stack up against a lot of guys where they have fitness testing and on ice testing, and it's pretty cool to see where you're at and to see what you need to improve on and things like that. So it's, again, all of these experiences are all something that you can take away from and build on or things like that. So
yeah, and then just I think again, like getting to go to Hamilton there, part of Ontario I've never been again. Once again, is a chance to go somewhere with my buddies and experience something different is obviously super cool as a life experience. And then, obviously Oz touched on it at the hockey. You put all the best skill from the draft here in one game is it's pretty high tempo. There's lots of good plays being made, and there's even a fight in our game. So a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? So. It was super fun for us to get to go over there, meet some new guys that we're stacked up against, and then obviously, like Oz said there, see some familiar faces that we don't usually get to see kind of mid-season like that. So it was definitely a really good experience, and obviously, like Oz said, something we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
Maybe. Jake, your name came up in the interview we did over the weekend with Damon Hunt about how your skate cut his arm.
Oh yeah. Such a freak accident. I feel so bad. I love Huntsy. I play with them. Obviously at the Hlinka. We've got to know each other pretty well over these Hockey Canada experiences and things like that. So, I was just kind of a freak accident. I was coming down the wall, and Huntsy's obviously very shifty, well skating defenseman, and tried to evade my hit, and we clipped like almost like kneeing almost. And I lost balance, and my left skate kind of flinged around behind my body as he was like skating through my plane. And I just happened to cut him right in a spot that was exposed. And I actually didn't know it happened right when, I knew that he went off the ice. I didn't think it was that bad, but after the game, he was giving me a hard time about it for sure. But I feel terrible, but just one of those freak accidents for sure.
Oh yeah, he said you guys are good buddies.
Yeah. No, me and Hutsy get along pretty well. He's a great guy.
You guys are both going to be high picks in this draft coming up. How are you guys preparing yourselves?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I think that this is a whole different experience than anyone's I guess ever had. So it's tough to kind of prepare for it. But I think that the best thing we can do is kind of try not to think about it as much, and in a way just let it be. And we have interviews with teams, and make sure we're doing our best on those. And so it's definitely a different experience, and it's a really unique experience at the same time. So it's definitely been lots of fun, and it's been really cool going through it with Jake and a couple other buddies too. So it's definitely made it easier at the same time too. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think, obviously like Oz just kind of touched on there is, having someone to kind of go through this experience with is makes it a lot easier for sure. I mean, I'm with this guy pretty much almost every minute of every day, it feels like. So, we go through everything together, and, it makes it a lot easier. But, obviously there's so much uncertainty with the draft, and we don't know when it's going to be and everything like this. So we're just trying to do our best with the interviews and do our best to stay in shape on the ice and in the gym, and making sure we're keeping on top of fitness as well, because, when that day does come and we're selected by a team, we're going to have to go to their camp and impress. So just with the uncertainty of not knowing when that may be is just, extra motivation to stay in good shape, eat healthy, and, do the things you would normally do in a normal summer. So, it's definitely been different, but I think we've done a good job of trying to have fun with it and, do our best that we can.
If a GM or scout were to ask, hey, Jake, what do you bring to the table? And Oz, what do you bring to the table?
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I think for me, usually I kind of just describe myself as a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. I think, I can give you a bit of everything on the ice in terms of being a player. You can put out 5-on-6, 6-on-5, PK, power play, obviously 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 3-on-3, all these different scenarios. I feel like, I'm a player you can use in any of those, and that's something that's, I think is pretty valuable. And, at the same time, I think I'm a good person off the ice. I'm a good guy to have in the room, and, I like to have fun, and, I like to bring leadership as well. So, I think, I try to incorporate all things hockey in my game and be a well-rounded player and person. So, that's usually kind of how I describe myself without being too confident.
Yeah. I think a little bit of what Jake said. I think that, I'm able to play a physical game. I'm able to play a skilled game, and kind of whatever you need me to be, I think I'm able to do. But I think my real talent is in the offensive zone and creating offensive and scoring chances and things like that. But at the same time, I think that I'm a guy that I hope a lot of people like having in the dressing room, and breaking ice, and if it's making other guys comfortable around everyone and things like that. So I think that I'm a good all-around guy, and yeah.
Did you guys play any other sports growing up?
I played all types of sports in middle school. I did track and field, badminton, volleyball, basketball, all kind of within a school zone type thing. But I played baseball way more competitively than any of the others. I played AAA ball in Olds, and then, I still golf recreationally, but I golf quite a bit. So I like to think of myself as a pretty good athlete.
Couple of good Canadian kids.
Yeah, for myself, it's been nice having so many brothers. So we were always kind of busy, whether it's playing baseball, football, or just about anything. And it's always been easy to find something to do, and we're never usually bored and things like that. And so yeah, I think that we usually play every single sport except for golf, and Jake would know that I'm not very good at that game.
Yeah, not a good golfer.
You guys, sorry, go ahead. Do you have a pregame ritual?
Not too bad. I'm not too sticky and stuff like that. I have this thing that I have a wax job that's different than everybody else. I tape my stick white, and then I only wax half of the blade with black wax. So that's kind of like my weird thing that I do that nobody else does. But other than that, I tape my sticks, play sewer ball. I'm pretty relaxed. I have a ritual with my trainer. He always cracks my back a specific way before hockey, and stuff like that, but nothing too major for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really have many rituals. I think I kind of just go with the flow, and I'm usually ready right off the bat every game. So I don't really need too many rituals to kind of tune me in and to get me ready for the game. So I'm pretty easy that way.
Yeah, I like to load my stick. I tape it in white as well, and then I load it with wax, and hoping that one day I can get that puck behind the net and just scoop it. I'm playing beer league though, of course. It's a little easier.
Yeah, pull the lacrosse goal. That's what.
Yeah, I've been dreaming about that for years.
What's your guys' favorite pump up song?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if I really have one, but I've always, since I was a kid, I've always loved Eminem, and probably like Not Afraid or something like that. So that's a pretty good one.
Good choice.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, before games, I'm kind of all over the board. I think, I like rap music. I love that culture. So, I listen to a lot of rap, maybe some Lil Baby or Gunna maybe before a game. But I also listen to a lot of like dance music, a lot of EDM type stuff that, really gets the blood flowing. So I'll do something like that right before a game. But, definitely some Lil Baby and Gunna will be in there at some point.
Right. You guys are both big time goal scorers. So do you guys have a go-to celly?
Mine used to be just kind of get on one knee and just like punch something. But now I'm like more of a guy. I'll just like bring a knee up and just like, I don't know. I'm a little more calm with it now, I feel like. But like definitely my rookie year, it was like I'd score and it's just one knee and I'd pull a bow and arrow or something. But I think now it's just kind of raise one leg in the air and, give him one of these or something. I don't know. I'm pretty random with it, I guess.
Yeah. For me, it's I don't usually do too much, but I usually give him one of these, and that's about it. And
straight leg floating in the air and just Oz going like this. That's his go-to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely like the celly after all my goals. That my team it just drives them nuts. I'm always got the salute. I got the salute, or you can't see me.
Yeah, the John Cena.
Yeah, you got that. One time I rode the stick. Through. I just scored a one-handed goal, like dropped it, boom, in, and then I rode the stick and I went like this.
You'll have to pull out the salty. You got to do that one next time.
Oh yeah, salte.
Yeah.
Hey boys, we just want to thank you guys so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun. Hey, I'm Jake Neighbours.
I'm Ozzy Wiesblatt.
And we were on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Couple of good Canadian kids. We look forward to watching you in the future, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, guys.
Take care.